Hello, Vapor Man here, and today we have more fine A-grade bovine excrement to get through. This time, the Today Show. So let's just jump into it.
Well, now to a Today health alert around vaping and our kids, with health experts sounding the alarm as one mother shares the heartbreaking account of how her 17-year-old son almost died.
Let's get one thing straight. Okay, if the basis for this news story is a mother's report via Facebook, you people aren't doing journalism. If Vaporman puts a post on Facebook vaping, what was it, Bang Bubblegum Ice, and I say, I had cancer, but now I vaped Bang Bubblegum Ice, and I no longer have cancer, don't put that on the national news, you idiots!
To discuss, I'm joined by the head of respiratory medicine at Concord Hospital, Professor Matthew Peters.
And then there's this idiot. Now, this idiot said that nicotine users are nicotine junkies. And some substandard journalist from some backwater rag, what's it called? Let's see here. The Daily Telegraph, said that quoting him saying nicotine junkies is perfectly fine because he said it, and it's not an offensive term. Jane, if this idiot said, hey, nicotine users,
we coming for you, nigga!
Would you print that? I don't think so. Grow a brain, you idiot. You bigot.
Professor, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you, Alison.
This is a huge problem, isn't it?
Look, it is a problem of the last 12 months. It's become huge.
Actually, vaping's been around for 15 years. And over in the US, they've been railing about this for more than just 12 months. This ain't new, right? The coronavirus vaccine, that's a few months old. That's new. Vaping ain't 12 months old.
In kids really from the age of 13 and beyond. Unfortunately, there is readily available
Speaking of 13 and beyond, kids can legally buy fruit-flavoured nicotine liquid. Not teens, kids, 12-year-olds can buy it.
highly toxic, highly addictive, almost invisible.
There are reports that suggest nicotine is no more addictive than caffeine. Not everybody who has a cigarette gets addicted to nicotine. Am I addicted to nicotine? Yes.
Vaping devices, and it's incredibly harmful, and we've got to get on top of it.
So, I mean, we're talking now about...
How is it incredibly harmful? You might want to back up that statement with some evidence. And in comparison to cigarettes, vaping is 95%, at least 95% less harmful. It would be nice to get some balance on this news story.
About something like 1 in 5 teens are doing it. You say they're easy to buy, but I mean, these kids are underage. How are they getting their hands on them?
Once again, even if you're overage, you need a prescription. They're illegal for anybody to buy or possess unless they're over the age of 18 and have their doctor's okay, right? The doctor decides, the doctor has the choice of what I put in my body. Let me ask you, should your doctor have the right to choose for you?
Well, as an experiment this morning, I went on Facebook Marketplace. I typed in fruit, and the second item was for $14. I could buy a vaping device, a disposable vaping device, and that packs the punch of 6 packets of cigarettes. Something that would cost.
Now that is great value. Any smokers out there, take note.
Cost kids $300 plus. They can buy online very easily.
And also, do you think kids can't buy individual cigarettes? You think there's some sort of magical, metaphysical force that stops people from taking a cigarette out of a pack and selling it to a kid? You're out of your mind.
For $14.
And, I mean, the health ramifications here are really, really serious. We heard over the weekend, like a 17-year-old almost dying after suffering a suspected seizure related to the vaping.
Off a mother's word on a Facebook post. You know what else? Actually, let's forget about that. Let's look at it. Let's look at an authoritative voice. You know, back in the day, there was a scientist who had a peer-reviewed paper about vaccines causing autism, and it was spread across the media just like this is being. Have a skeptical brain, people, please.
What impact is it having on our kids' health?
Well, nicotine is toxic.
No, it's not. In low doses, nicotine is not toxic. Once again, eggplant, potato, capsicum, chilies, tomatoes, all contain nicotine. Nicotine is not toxic. Don't stop your children from eating potatoes, for God's sakes.
Addictive. The sad case highlighted the toxic potential of the amount of nicotine in these this is ultra high doses, and it's in a particular nicotine salt formulation that's very, very rapidly absorbed, and it's covered in all these fruit flavours, bubblegum, passion fruit, very berry.
And yet it's more slowly absorbed than a cigarette, which is why a lot of people who try vaping, especially at low doses, still find it hard to quit.
You know, there's 30 odd different fruits in the devices I've got my hands on.
Here's another fruit-flavoured nicotine product that 12-year-olds can buy.
And so the irritant nature of nicotine is totally hidden from these kids because of the fruity smells and, you know, the pleasurable part of it. And
the pleasurable part of it. It's almost like nicotine was a recreational drug that's perfectly legal in this country. Except for vaping. Not the gums, not the sprays, not the lozenges, not the patch, not the cigarettes. No, vaping is the only one that's illegal.
And pleasure and nicotine delivery, and it's all invisible.
Pleasure and nicotine... Wait, what did he say?
And I mean...
Hang on. I gotta rewind that.
And pleasure and nicotine delivery, and it's all invisible.
And I mean, do parents have any idea that their kids are doing this? Because
and it's all invisible. He shows this product later on in the news story. It's a Kuvi. Looks pretty damn visible to me. Let's see if the vapor is invisible. You know, I questioned this guy's qualifications in metaphysics. It looks perfectly visible to me.
I know that they can be disguised as other items like a USB, for example.
Well, they range in size from something that's like a USB key to something that's about 3/4 the size and the same calibre as a marker pen. And there's an illustration of some that are in my collection. And they're the...
When you're talking about the range of sizes, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's clearly not an expert on the subject.
Range of devices. They all have nicotine. We've had that tested.
No, they don't all have nicotine. Here's a whole bunch of them that are purchasable legally without nicotine, so long as you're over 18. He's tested all of them. He's tested all vaping devices. This guy is a liar.
The nicotine is all salts. It's all highly addictive.
It's not all salts. My one is actually freebase. I just find that I prefer it this way. Don't get me wrong, I still like the salts too for certain occasions when I'm stressed out because I'm watching a news story where somebody's saying the sky is falling.
And there's nothing on those devices which indicates that they've got nicotine in them. And in fact,
this is true. This device doesn't say that it contains nicotine on it. This device doesn't say that it contains nicotine on it. But both devices came in packages that said that they contain nicotine, even though this one didn't contain nicotine. It didn't come pre-filled. This one certainly did. And it had warnings.
Some of the convenience stores that I know are selling it are actually, there is an outer wrapper that might say this has got nicotine in it, but they're selling it to the kids without the outer wrapper. What?
Let me tell you something, and if you take anything away from this, please take this from it. If anyone sells you a disposable device anywhere and it's not in its original wrapper, don't buy it, don't use it. Number one, you don't know if they've got COVID or AIDS or God knows whatever else when they suck it from their mouth and then give it to you. You don't know if it's empty either. All of these devices come in pre-wrapping that say that they have nicotine on them if they contain nicotine in them. If they contain nicotine and they don't specify it, that would be like selling a V8 and going, "Meh, I don't know what's under the hood."
And they're saying it doesn't have nicotine. So the kids don't even know what they're getting into. And
The kids aren't that dumb, okay? I know you like to think that a 17-year-old is so naive that they pick up a beer and they go, "Oh, well, I can't see in big writing that it says it has alcohol on it, so maybe it's a non-alcoholic beer." You're out of touch and you're an idiot.
parents won't see it.
Because, I mean, vaping was brought in because it was meant to be safer than smoking cigarettes. But now all we've done is we've got a new generation of kids addicted to nicotine, which comes with a whole bunch of health issues.
Show me the statistics on kids addicted to nicotine. Teenagers will experiment, right? Do you remember your teenage years, the rebellious years? If you tell a teenager not to do something and you draw their attention to it, and you're like, hey, everybody, stop what you're doing. Don't go to the toilet. You're not allowed to go to the toilet anymore. Come here. See this? Look at it. See this? Okay, don't do it. Genius.
Yeah, I mean, vaping, electronic cigarette use does have a small role in helping some smokers quit.
Small role in helping some smokers quit. If it wasn't for vaping, during this lockdown, I would have gone back to smoking, I can guarantee you. The only thing that has kept me off smoking cigarettes is vaping a vaporizer. And I ain't the only one.
That's okay, and that'll be possible, but
That will be possible. If you go to your doctor for an appointment, fill out a form, come back again another day to get your prescription, go to the pharmacist to get them to order nicotine, go back home, come back another day to pick up your nicotine, it will be possible. Alternatively, apparently you can just go onto Facebook. Thank you for the advertising, you idiot.
should never have happened. And since it's predictable, nicotine is a very addictive chemical, and it's now formulated in a concealable device. I know you've had images on the show this morning of vapors blowing smoke like a raging bull. Well,
It's not smoke, it's vapor. By the way, people will say, oh, it's an aerosol. Smoke is an aerosol as well. See this? There's dust on my table. That's an aerosol too.
devices emit no smoke. Your child will not come home.
That's the one correct thing he said. A vaporizer emits no smoke. That's why it's 95%, at least 95% safer.
Smelling like an ashtray.
Nor will they come home smelling like cancer. Parents, don't get too worried about this.
It's easily done in a bedroom, in a classroom. A teacher may not notice it. In a toilet.
Should they be banned? Should they
be banned? Interesting question. Which is kind of what this hysterical media circus is all about in Vaporman's opinion. Let's look at the professor's response. Let's see what he thinks should happen to these nicotine junkies.
be banned?
Should they be banned? Yeah. They are illegal.
They are?
They are illegal. Yeah. So.
Isn't that surprising? I saw a paid post on Twitter telling people, did you know that vaping will become illegal in October? Or words to that effect. It's already illegal! It's already illegal, you idiot! Well, at least it's being put on the news now. People know it's already illegal. So what are we to do about this epidemic of every single child smoking in their bedroom, Reds under the beds, McCarthyism smears? What are we going to do? It's already illegal. Well, do you know children are also smoking marijuana? Well, maybe we should make it prescription only. Oh no, wait. No. Maybe we should make smoking marijuana, cigarettes, joints, legal in every service station, supermarket, Woolworths, IGA. Make vaporizing, THC, prescription only. The logic there, you gotta love it.
You buy them at a corner store.
Not legally. They can't be sold in companies at the present time. They cannot be sold legally onshore in Australia.
If they contain nicotine, they can be sold in Australia. I bought the device and the liquid from a brick and mortar here in Australia. The nicotine that I added to the liquid, I had to import from overseas. And yes, there are disposable devices with zero nicotine examples here and in the link in the description.
They are.
And the people who are selling it, the people who are harming our kids and making...
Demonstrate the harm. Demonstrate the harm with something other than a damn hysterical mother's Facebook post.
Money are really vultures in my mind.
You know who's a vulture? I would like to see if this guy is getting any taxpayers' money. Some of the $17 billion that the government is raising in taxes on cigarettes. Let's see who the vultures are who are actually making money off death and misery.
Preying upon the health of young Australians. It's unacceptable. Everybody needs to know about it in the way that I know about it and in the collective.
In the way that you know about it. So in your fantasy world of metaphysics where this is invisible, that's invisible.
Collective action needs to come and we need parent power. We need lots.
What effective action? It's already illegal. What more do you want? You want to shoot vapers on sight, for God's sakes?
Of things to get on top of this, but it's enormous.
Yeah, parents beware. Professor, thanks for your time this morning. I really appreciate it.
I want to finish off by saying this. It's news stories like this, it's misinformation like this that makes true vapers bigoted against disposable users. If you've ever tried to convince a 70-year-old who's been smoking for 55 years to try vaping, and you say, here's the coil, here's the button, here's the thing, and she's never programmed a VCR in her life, this is the only thing that's going to get them off smoking at that point. If you don't know, now you know!
All that click you need to know about is the Harlem Heat and Sister Sherry. See, because what you get